The galaxy had thousands of prison worlds. Some were frozen. Some burned beneath dying suns. Others were so poisonous that even robots refused to land there. But one planet stood above them all. Its name was Vargon 9. The aliens never called it a planet. They called it the Mouth of Monsters. No maps showed its full surface. No satellite stayed alive for more than a few hours. Every expedition disappeared. Every rescue mission failed. The jungle swallowed everything. Even the monsters hunted each other. The Galactic Council had only one law about Vargon 9. No one lands. Ever. Yet today, one prisoner was about to be thrown onto its surface. Not because he deserved it. Because someone powerful wanted him gone forever. Marcus Kane stood in chains inside a massive alien prison ship. Around him stood warriors from dozens of species. 8-foot reptilian soldiers. 4-armed armored giants. Insect commanders with glowing red eyes. Every prisoner kept their head down. Except Marcus. He calmly looked through the ship's window. Below, an endless green world stretched across the horizon. Massive trees reached above the clouds. Thick mist covered the jungle. Strange creatures flew between giant branches. Something enormous moved beneath the leaves. Even from space. It looked terrifying. An alien guard laughed. "Human. You won't last 10 minutes. Another prisoner whispered, "I heard the trees eat people." A third answered, "If the trees don't, the monsters will." The guards burst into laughter. Marcus remained silent. He simply smiled. That smile confused everyone. Hours earlier, Marcus had saved his entire mining crew during a cave collapse. Instead of receiving a reward, he uncovered a secret. A powerful galactic governor had been stealing rare crystals from dozens of colonies. Marcus recorded everything. Before he could report it, he was arrested. The charges were fake. The trial lasted less than 3 minutes. The sentence: permanent exile. Destination: Vargon 9. The governor watched through a hologram. His cold smile never changed. "Leave him there. The jungle will erase every piece of evidence." The transmission ended. Marcus finally understood. This was never punishment. It was an execution. Warning alarms echoed through the prison ship. Landing sequence initiated. The entire vessel shook violently. Dark clouds surrounded the planet. Lightning flashed across the sky. Something huge flew beside the ship. Only its shadow could be seen. One alien soldier suddenly became nervous. "What was that?" Another answered quietly, "Don't look outside." The creature disappeared into the storm. Even the guards stopped talking. The transport bay opened. A rusty metal capsule waited. No engines. No weapons. No supplies. Just enough fuel to reach the ground. One guard threw Marcus a small survival knife. Another tossed him a half-empty water bottle. Then they laughed again. "A gift. You'll need it for your last meal." Marcus picked them up without saying a word. The commander stepped closer. "You have one chance. Beg." Marcus looked directly into his eyes. "If I survive, I'll come back." Silence filled the room. Every alien burst into laughter. One soldier nearly fell to the floor. "Survive? No one survives Vargon 9." The commander pressed the launch button. The capsule shot into space. Fire covered the metal shell. The capsule shook violently. Warning lights flashed everywhere. Marcus saw impossible things. Gigantic flying reptiles. Floating jellyfish larger than battleships. Winged predators chasing each other through black clouds. One monster crashed into another in midair. The explosion shook the capsule. Marcus grabbed his seat tightly. Almost there. Suddenly, something slammed into the capsule. Metal screamed. A giant claw ripped across the outer hull. Warning sirens exploded. Hull breach detected. The capsule spun out of control. Marcus could no longer see the sky. Only green. Endless green. The jungle rushed toward him. Boom. The capsule smashed through giant trees. Branches exploded everywhere. Massive leaves covered the windshield. Another impact. Another. Finally, everything stopped. Silence. Steam hissed from broken pipes. Marcus slowly opened the damaged hatch. Warm air entered immediately. The smell was strange. Wet earth. Flowers. Blood. Something else. Something wild. Birds sang high above. Tiny glowing insects floated through the air. Beautiful. Peaceful. For exactly 5 seconds. A deep roar echoed through the jungle. The ground trembled. Birds exploded into the sky. Entire trees began shaking. Marcus slowly turned his head. Across the river. 2 glowing yellow eyes opened inside the darkness. Then 4. Then 8. Then dozens. The bushes moved. Heavy footsteps approached. Marcus quietly picked up the small knife. He whispered to himself, "So, this place really is alive." A massive shadow stepped out from the jungle. Its teeth were longer than Marcus' arm. Its claws carved deep marks into the rocks. Behind it, more glowing eyes appeared. Marcus stood completely alone. No ship. No rescue. No escape. Only monsters. And this was only his first hour on Vargonet. The monster did not roar. It simply stared. Its glowing amber eyes never blinked. The creature was nearly 15 feet long. Its body looked like a mix of a black panther, a crocodile, and a wolf. Rows of sharp bone spikes covered its back. Its long tail smashed against the ground. Every hit cracked the rocks. Marcus slowly tightened his grip on the survival knife. Behind the giant beast, more glowing eyes appeared. An entire pack. At least 12 predators. Each one was waiting for the leader to attack first. Marcus whispered, "1 knife, 12 monsters. Not great odds." The alpha beast lowered its head. It charged. Marcus jumped sideways just as the monster crashed into the ground. The impact shook the earth. Trees bent from the force. The beast spun around instantly. Much faster than Marcus expected. Its claws sliced across his shoulder. Blood splashed onto the grass. Marcus stumbled backward. The smell of fresh blood spread through the jungle. The other monsters became excited. Low growls echoed from every direction. They were no longer watching. They wanted to eat. Marcus knew one thing. He could never outrun them. Instead, he ran deeper into the jungle. The monsters followed immediately. Huge trees flashed past him. Massive vines hung from branches thicker than buildings. Bright blue flowers opened as he passed. Tiny glowing insects filled the air. Everything looked beautiful. Everything wanted him dead. Suddenly, the ground disappeared beneath his feet. Marcus fell. He crashed through thick vines before landing in muddy water. A hidden sinkhole. The alpha beast stopped at the edge. It looked down. It smiled. At least it looked like a smile. The monster jumped. Marcus rolled aside just in time. The beast slammed into the mud. Water exploded everywhere. Marcus drove the knife toward its neck. Clang. The blade snapped in half. Its skin was harder than steel. The alpha swung its tail. Marcus flew into a giant tree. Pain exploded through his ribs. He struggled to breathe. The beast slowly walked closer. It knew he was finished. The jungle screamed. A terrifying roar echoed across the valley. Every monster froze. Even the alpha looked frightened. The ground began shaking. Heavy footsteps. Closer. Closer. A giant creature burst through the trees. Nearly 40 feet tall. 6 muscular legs. 2 enormous horns. Its mouth opened sideways, revealing hundreds of rotating teeth. The alpha beast immediately backed away. The rest of the pack fled into the darkness. Marcus realized something terrifying. The hunters were now the hunted. The giant monster ignored Marcus. It charged directly toward the alpha. The 2 titans collided. The impact shattered nearby trees. Marcus watched in disbelief. These creatures weren't protecting territory. They were fighting for food. Everything on this planet hunted something bigger. Even monsters had monsters. Marcus slowly crawled away while the giants battled behind him. Their roars echoed for miles. As night fell, the jungle changed. Strange glowing plants lit the forest floor. Purple mist drifted between ancient trees. Tiny floating creatures looked like stars. For a brief moment, the planet became almost beautiful. Then Marcus heard distant screams. Not human, not animal, something far worse. Every few seconds, another scream echoed. Something was hunting after dark. Marcus found shelter beneath the roots of a gigantic tree. He covered himself with large leaves. He couldn't risk making a fire. The light would attract predators. Instead, he listened. Growls, footsteps, wing beats, snakes slithering through branches, creatures climbing the trees above him. The jungle never slept. Neither could he. Hours later, a soft cry reached his ears. Marcus slowly peeked through the roots. Near the riverbank, a small creature struggled inside thick vines. It looked nothing like the monsters chasing him earlier. About the size of a large dog. Dark silver fur. Bright blue eyes. Tiny curved horns. One back leg was badly injured. The little creature cried again. Marcus frowned. If I help it, its parents could kill me. He looked around carefully. Nothing. No predators. Only silence. Slowly, Marcus crawled toward it. The frightened animal tried to bite him, but it was too weak. Marcus carefully cut the vines using the broken half of his knife. The creature fell free. It limped backward, still staring at him. Marcus removed a piece of cloth from his shirt. He wrapped the injured leg. The little beast tilted its head. Confused. No human had ever been here. No creature had ever shown it kindness. Marcus quietly stepped back. You should go. The animal didn't move. Instead, it walked closer, then gently rubbed its head against Marcus's hand. Marcus smiled for the first time since arriving. Maybe. Not every monster on this planet wanted him dead. High above the jungle, hidden among the clouds, a small alien surveillance drone watched everything. Inside the galactic capital, Governor Zarek received the live video. He expected to see a dead human. Instead, he watched Marcus helping one of Vargon 9's wild creatures. The governor narrowed his eyes. Then he whispered, "Impossible. He's adapting." He turned toward his military commander. "Increase surveillance. If the human survives, kill him before anyone finds out." Far below, Marcus had no idea. He wasn't just fighting monsters anymore. The most powerful man in the galaxy had begun hunting him too. The first light of dawn slowly reached the jungle. Golden sunlight broke through the giant trees. Strange birds with crystal feathers filled the air. Massive insects buzzed between glowing flowers. For the first time, the jungle looked peaceful. Marcus opened his eyes. The small horned creature was still there. It had stayed beside him the entire night. Its injured leg was already healing. The creature carefully sniffed Marcus's hand. Then it let out a happy chirp. Marcus smiled. "I guess we're both still alive." Suddenly, the little creature's ears stood straight up. It stared into the jungle, completely frozen. Marcus immediately noticed the change. Something was coming. Heavy footsteps. Slow, deliberate, powerful. A huge shadow appeared between the trees. Then another. Marcus slowly stood. Two enormous predators walked into the clearing. Each one stood nearly 12 feet tall. They looked like giant wolves covered in black scales. Their glowing green eyes never left the small creature. The baby monster whimpered. Marcus understood immediately. These weren't its parents. They were hunters. The larger predator growled. The sound shook the leaves. Without warning, it lunged toward the baby. Marcus reacted instantly. He grabbed a fallen branch and slammed it into the monster's face. Crack! The branch shattered. The predator barely noticed. Now, its attention shifted to Marcus. The second beast circled behind him. The human was trapped. One in front, one behind. The baby monster cried helplessly. Marcus whispered, "Run." But it refused to leave. The first wolf-like beast attacked. Marcus rolled beneath its claws. He picked up a sharp stone and struck its eye. The monster roared in pain. The second predator slammed Marcus into a tree. His breath disappeared. His vision blurred. The beast opened its jaws. Rows of razor-sharp teeth came closer. Closer. A loud roar exploded across the valley. The predators stopped instantly. Fear filled their eyes. They slowly backed away. Whatever had made that sound was stronger than both of them. The wolves disappeared into the jungle without another fight. Marcus looked around carefully. Nothing. Silence. The bushes moved. A gigantic creature slowly emerged, nearly 20 feet tall. Its body looked like a powerful mix of a gorilla and a bear. Dark blue armor-like skin covered its body. Massive ivory horns curved backward from its skull. Its golden eyes locked onto Marcus. The human didn't move. The giant beast looked toward the small injured creature. The baby immediately ran behind Marcus. As it trusted him. The giant monster lowered its head. Marcus expected death. Instead, the creature sniffed the bandage wrapped around the baby's leg. It looked at Marcus again. For several long seconds, neither moved. The giant beast gave a deep rumbling sound. The baby answered with a happy chirp. Marcus slowly realized the truth. This was its mother. The enormous creature gently touched the baby's head. Then it looked back at Marcus. It stepped closer. Close enough that Marcus could feel its warm breath. One wrong move, and he would die. The mother beast slowly lowered her head, almost like the bow. Marcus carefully reached out. His hand touched the giant creature's armored forehead. She didn't attack. She closed her eyes. For a brief moment, human and monster understood each other. The mother suddenly turned toward the jungle. She growled. Dangerous. Marcus heard movement everywhere. Leaves rustled. Branches snapped. Something was surrounding them. Then they appeared. 6 reptilian hunters. Not wild monsters. Aliens. Each wore advanced combat armor. Energy rifles glowed in their hands. One soldier laughed. So the governor was right. The human is still alive. Another aimed his rifle. Kill him. No witnesses. Marcus's eyes widened. They sent soldiers. They're not here to rescue me. The first plasma shot exploded beside Marcus. Trees burst into flames. The baby monster screamed. The mother roared with unbelievable fury. She charged. The ground shook beneath her feet. One alien fired. Another fired. Blue plasma bolts slammed into her armor. She didn't stop. With one swing, she crushed an armored soldier against a tree. Another disappeared beneath her massive claws. The jungle erupted into chaos. Marcus grabbed a fallen plasma rifle. He had never used alien weapons before. No time to learn. He fired. The energy blast struck a soldier's shoulder. The alien spun backward. Marcus grabbed the baby monster. Together they ran deeper into the jungle. Behind them, the giant mother fought alone against the remaining soldiers. Her roars echoed through the forest. Everything went silent. Hours later, Marcus carefully returned to the battlefield. The clearing was destroyed. Burned trees. Broken armor. Scorched earth. Dead alien soldiers. But the giant mother was gone. So was the baby. Marcus searched the area. Nothing. Only one thing remained. A massive footprint. Fresh. Leading deeper into the heart of Vargunten. Marcus looked toward the endless jungle. He smiled. They're alive. Then he noticed something else. The surviving alien soldiers hadn't escaped. They had retreated. That meant only one thing. They would come back. Next time, with a much larger army. Marcus picked up a working plasma rifle. He looked into the dark jungle ahead. This planet isn't trying to kill me anymore. It just gave me a reason to fight. Far above the clouds, Governor Zarek watched the battle recordings. His face was pale. A single human had survived, killed trained soldiers, and somehow earned the respect of Vargon 9's deadliest creatures. He whispered one sentence that would change everything. Prepare the war fleet. If the monsters won't kill the human, we will burn the entire planet. 3 weeks passed. 21 days. The man who had fallen from the sky no longer looked like a prisoner. Marcus Kane had changed. His prison uniform was gone. Instead, he wore armor made from the scales of giant jungle beasts. A thick leather cloak covered his shoulders. Around his waist hung alien tools, hunting knives, and plasma cells collected from the dead soldiers. His face carried small scars. His eyes carried something much more dangerous. Confidence. He wasn't surviving anymore. He belonged here. The jungle had become his teacher. Every morning, Marcus studied the tracks left in the mud. He learned which monsters hunted during daylight, which predators hunted after sunset, which plants healed wounds, which fruits were poisonous, which flowers released sleeping spores. Every mistake had nearly killed him. Every lesson kept him alive another day. The impossible happened. Marcus stopped running from monsters. The monsters started avoiding him. The small horned creature had grown stronger. Marcus named him. Ash followed him everywhere. He could smell danger long before Marcus could. Whenever Ash's ears stood up, Marcus prepared for battle. The little beast had become more than a companion. He had become family. One afternoon, Ash suddenly froze. He growled toward a nearby cliff. Marcus looked up. High above them, something enormous was watching. Golden eyes, massive wings, dark crimson scales. A creature larger than any Marcus had seen before. It stood nearly 40 feet tall. Its claws gripped the cliffside like knives. Its long tail slowly moved behind it. The air itself felt heavy. Marcus whispered, "You're the king." The creature spread its wings. The wind knocked trees sideways. It jumped. The beast crashed into the valley. The ground exploded beneath its weight. Ash hid behind Marcus. The giant predator slowly walked forward. Every step shook the earth. Marcus didn't raise his weapon. He remembered something. Every animal on earth had one thing in common. Attack fear. And it attacks back. Show confidence. And sometimes, it hesitates. Marcus stood perfectly still. The monster stopped only a few feet away. It lowered its enormous head. Its hot breath blew across Marcus's face. The human never moved. Seconds felt like hours. The impossible happened. The giant beast stepped aside. It wasn't surrendering. It was accepting him. Suddenly, the peaceful moment ended. Boom. A loud explosion echoed through the jungle. Another. Then another. The sky filled with fire. Marcus looked upward. Dozens of alien dropships entered the atmosphere. Hundreds of transport pods fell toward the forest. Governor Zarek had returned. This time, with an army. The first wave landed near the valley. Armored soldiers poured from the ships. Heavy plasma cannons rolled onto the ground. Flying drones filled the sky. One commander spoke through loudspeakers. Destroy every living thing. Leave nothing alive. The order wasn't just for Marcus. It was for every creature on Vargane. The jungle answered immediately. A deafening roar echoed across the mountains. Then another. Then hundreds more. Every predator on the planet had heard the invasion. The first battle began. A pack of giant wolf beasts attacked the alien front line. Flying reptiles crashed into gunships. Massive insects swarmed the drones. Huge armored rhinos smashed through tanks. The jungle itself became a battlefield. Marcus watched everything. Then he noticed something strange. The monsters weren't attacking each other anymore. Dark clouds swallowed the sky. The alien flagship hovered above Vargan 9 like a second moon. Its massive cannons slowly unfolded. Ring after ring locked into place. Blue energy flowed through its core. The light became brighter and brighter until the entire sky glowed. Every creature in the jungle stopped moving. Even the deadliest predators looked upward. For the first time, the planet itself seemed afraid. Marcus stood on a rocky cliff. Ash growled beside him. The giant horned mother beast looked toward the sky. Her deep roar echoed through the valley. One by one, monsters answered. A flying reptile screamed from the clouds. A giant ape pounded its chest. Massive jungle wolves howled together. The sounds spread across mountains, across rivers, across the endless forest. It wasn't random. It was a call. Every creature on Varga 9 was gathering. Marcus watched thousands of monsters emerge from the jungle. Small hunters, giant predators, flying beasts, armored reptiles, Creatures that had spent their lives killing one another now stood side by side, facing the same enemy. Marcus took a deep breath. He climbed onto the back of the giant winged alpha beast. The creature looked into his eyes. Marcus nodded. The beast spread its enormous wings. With one powerful leap, they launched into the sky. Behind them, hundreds of flying monsters followed. The battle for Vargon 9 had begun. The alien fleet opened fire. Thousands of plasma bolts filled the sky. Explosions tore through the clouds. Several flying beasts fell in flames. Others kept climbing. Marcus fired captured plasma rifles while holding tightly to the alpha beast. One enemy fighter exploded. Another crashed into the jungle. The air became a battlefield of fire and smoke. Everywhere Marcus looked, something was fighting. On the ground, the horned mother beast led the charge. She smashed through rows of armored vehicles. Giant rhino-like monsters flipped heavy tanks into the air. Crystal-backed reptiles destroyed energy cannons with their tails. Ash raced through the battlefield, leading enemy soldiers into hidden sinkholes and carnivorous plants. The jungle itself had become a weapon. Alien troops disappeared beneath giant vines. Poisonous spores filled the air. Entire squads vanished without a trace. The planet knew every trap. The invaders knew none. High above, Marcus spotted the flagship. It was still charging. Only a few more minutes, and the planet breaker cannon would fire. He whispered, "We don't have time." The alpha beast roared. It flew straight toward the massive ship. Enemy fighters surrounded them. Missiles streaked through the sky. Marcus leaped from the beast's back onto an alien fighter. The pilot barely had time to react. Marcus smashed through the cockpit. The fighter spun out of control. It slammed into another ship. Both exploded. Marcus grabbed an emergency cable and swung toward the flagship. He crashed onto its outer hull. Warning sirens echoed across the ship. Intruder detected. Intruder detected. Marcus forced open a maintenance hatch. The sight. Alien soldiers immediately surrounded him. 20 rifles pointed at his chest. One officer smiled. "It ends here, human." Marcus quietly raised his empty hands. The soldiers laughed. Ash appeared. The small beast had secretly followed him. It leaped onto one soldier's helmet. Chaos erupted. Marcus grabbed an energy rifle. Blue plasma filled the hallway. Explosions shook the ship. One by one, the soldiers fell. Marcus and Ash fought their way deeper into the flagship. Meanwhile, Governor Zarek watched everything from the command bridge. His face twisted with rage. One human is destroying my fleet." An officer looked terrified. "Sir, our ground forces have collapsed. Flying units are retreating. The monsters have surrounded every landing zone." Another officer shouted, "Sir, the human is inside the flagship." The governor slammed his fist onto the command table. "No more games." He drew an ancient alien energy blade. "I'll kill him myself." Marcus finally reached the cannon chamber. The planet breaker glowed like a miniature sun. Its energy core pulsed with unstoppable power. One shot would erase Vargon 9 forever. Marcus stepped toward the control system. Then a familiar voice echoed behind him. "I was hoping you'd make it this far." Marcus slowly turned around. Governor Zarek stood in the doorway. Energy blade blazing in his hand. Elite guards surrounded him. The governor smiled coldly. "You survived the monsters. But you won't survive me." Marcus tightened his grip on his weapon. Ash growled. The energy core thundered louder. The cannon was almost ready. Only one battle remained. The fate of the planet would be decided in the next few minutes. The planet breaker cannon was seconds from firing. The energy core glowed brighter than the sun. Warning alarms echoed through the flagship. Every wall vibrated. Thousands of monsters continued fighting beneath the burning sky. Inside the cannon chamber, everything became silent. Marcus Kane stood face to face with the man who had sentenced him to die. Governor Zarek smiled. "You should have died on your first day." Marcus answered calmly. "You should have left this planet alone." The governor raised his glowing energy blade. So be it. He attacked. The blade sliced through the air like lightning. Marcus barely dodged. The energy edge carved deep into the metal floor. Sparks exploded everywhere. Zarek attacked again. And again. Every strike was faster than the last. Marcus used the environment instead of brute force. He rolled beneath pipes. Jumped across broken platforms. Used steam vents to block the governor's vision. Years of military survival training finally paid off. But Zarek wasn't just a politician. He had once been one of the galaxy's greatest warriors. Ash suddenly leaped onto one of the elite guards. The little beast knocked the rifle from his hands. A plasma shot missed Marcus by inches. The chamber erupted into chaos. Marcus grabbed the fallen rifle. He fired. 2 guards dropped instantly. The others rushed forward. One after another. Marcus defeated them using the narrow walkways around the energy core. Within moments, only Marcus and Ash remained. The governor laughed. You still don't understand. He pointed toward the glowing cannon. It doesn't matter if I die. The planet breaker will fire anyway. Marcus looked at the countdown. 30 seconds. He had no time to shut the system down. He noticed something. A massive coolant pipe connected directly into the cannon's energy core. If the pressure changed, the entire weapon would overload. Marcus smiled. I only need one chance. Zarek charged. Marcus waited until the last second. Then he stepped aside. The governor's energy blade became stuck inside a steel support beam. For just 1 second, he couldn't move. Marcus fired a plasma bolt at the coolant pipe. Boom. Freezing gas exploded into the chamber. The superheated energy core became unstable. Warning lights turned crimson. A robotic voice echoed through the ship. Critical failure. Planet breaker cannon overloading. The governor's smile disappeared. No. No. He desperately tried restarting the system. Nothing worked. The entire flagship began shaking violently. Marcus looked toward Ash. It's time to leave. The little beast chirped. Together, they sprinted toward the escape bay. Behind them, the energy core cracked. Blue lightning exploded across the chamber. The overload spread through the entire ship. Alien pilots watched in horror. Their command ship had become a giant bomb. Marcus reached an emergency launch pod. He jumped inside with Ash. The pod blasted away from the flagship. Seconds later, the impossible happened. The alien flagship exploded. A massive blue shockwave rolled across the sky. Enemy fighters were swallowed by the blast. Burning wreckage rained into the jungle. The planet breaker cannon was gone. The remaining alien fleet fell into panic. This is Fleet Command. The flagship has been destroyed. Retreat. Retreat immediately. One by one, the surviving warships turned away from Vargon 9. Dropships abandoned their soldiers. Fighters fled into deep space. For the first time, the monsters didn't chase them. They simply watched. The invaders had learned their lesson. Marcus's escape pod crashed beside a waterfall. The hatch burst open. Ash jumped out first. Within minutes, the jungle began moving. One familiar face emerged. The giant horned mother beast. She walked toward Marcus. Then gently lowered her head. Behind her came dozens. Then hundreds. Then thousands of creatures. Flying beasts circled above. Massive predators stood beside tiny jungle animals. Every species Marcus had encountered during the last 30 days had gathered. No growling. No fighting. Only silence. Marcus slowly realized they weren't hunting. They were honoring him. The giant winged alpha beast stepped forward. It bowed its enormous head. Then another monster bowed. Then another. The entire valley was filled with monsters kneeling before a single human. Marcus whispered, I never wanted to rule you. The mother beast gently touched his shoulder, as if saying, You already do. Weeks later, news spread across the entire galaxy. The governor was dead. His corruption had been exposed. The surviving soldiers told impossible stories. A human commands the monsters. The death world belongs to him. No army can conquer Vargon 9 anymore. At first, nobody believed them. Then long-range satellites captured the truth. Marcus stood on a mountain surrounded by countless giant beasts. The images reached every civilization. The galaxy fell silent. The impossible had become reality. 1 year later, a peaceful exploration ship arrived near Vargon 9. It carried scientists, doctors, diplomats. No weapons. The crew waited nervously. A massive jungle gate slowly opened. Marcus walked out wearing armor crafted from the planet's strongest creatures. Ash, now fully grown, stood proudly beside him. Behind them, thousands of monsters watched quietly. The captain lowered his weapon belt and bowed. "We come in peace." Marcus smiled. "So do we." The monsters stepped aside. For the first time in history, humans, aliens, and the wild creatures of Vargon walked together. Narrators closing. The galaxy believed strength came from fear. They believed monsters could never be trusted. They believed a single human could never survive a world built for death. They were wrong. Because humanity's greatest weapon was never its technology. It was its ability to adapt, to protect, and to earn trust where others saw only enemies. And from that day forward, whenever a warlord threatened innocent worlds, only one warning was needed. Do not awaken the king of Vargon, because the monsters will answer his call.